I'm praying, and then I'll be done with it.
If we're on the record in cause number 325516-1, the case is styled the state of Texas versus Matthew Olin Wells. Mr. Wells, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Wells, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wells, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Wells?
All right. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Wells, the information alleges that on or about August 28 of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance. Mr. Wells, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Wells, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest.
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Wells, I have before me what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 1. On page 1 of this document, there's one box that's checked under the paragraph titled punishment range, and that box that's checked states that this is a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, or fine not to exceed $4,000, or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the punishment range?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of this document, Mr. Wells, there's two sets of initials. The first set of initials is on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
The second set of initials is on a line that next to a statement that reads, I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in the case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Now,
Yes, sir.
you place your initials on this line.
Yes, sir.
On the next page, page 3, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And there are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Wells, earlier, I explained to you your rights as a defendant who is proceeding without an attorney. And in that explanation, you were informed that you may hire an attorney, or if you did not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney to be appointed to represent you, or you may represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And once I finished doing that, I fully explained to you your 3 options, and you informed the court that you wanted to waive your right to an attorney and to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you were read your waiver of counsel for purposes of entering your guilty plea, and that waiver of counsel that was read to you is located in State's Exhibit number 1, below the paragraph that is titled waivers. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And was it your desire to represent, or is it your desire to represent yourself and to waive your right to have an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Wells, the documents that you signed and initialed, did you have an opportunity to read them?
Yes, sir.
And did you read those documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything true and correct in these documents?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wells, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature at the top of page 3. The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence against you in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Wells, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. It's for 60 days, credit for time served, tax and retire of the court cost.
Mr. Wells, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not have to serve 60 more days in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 60 days in jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served.
Yes, sir.
There is court cost of $387 in this case, but you would not have to pay it because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. So therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Wells, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wells, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Wells, please follow the bailiff and have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too.
You're welcome.